PR is actually a very diverse industry, but at the core, it's creating compelling content which is going to be of appeal to the people that a particular organisation needs to communicate with.
A lot of companies will tell you PR is message delivery, creating narratives, reputation management, evidence-based communication, and it's all true, and you know that if you're in the PR industry, but if you're a non-PR person, a lot of that stuff doesn't mean anything to you. So we like to keep it simple. You know, people aren't reading the newspapers for the adverts. They're not watching TV or going online to look at the adverts. They're there for the content. So we're here to help our clients get into the media. You know, we like to focus also on their communication with the people that affect their business and its success. Anyone from politicians to their own consumers to internal communications, local community that they affect. So we're really focused on making sure that our clients get the attention they need from the media and their own clients as well.
When people think of PR, they often think of Eddie from AbFab or Max Clifford or Malcolm Tucker from The Thick of It. Parker, Wayne and Kent are the antithesis of PR people, but everything that people should expect from a PR company. We're straight talking, cerebral and results orientated. Our aim's quite simple. We just aim to get our clients set up as effective contributors to the media. And we do that by focusing on hard news, things that are going to genuinely interest journalists, and by making their life as simple as possible. We give them the highest quality content we can so that there's minimal, if any, editing from them. But also, we're hard-working. We don't do lunch the way some other PR firms do. We think it's hard to have a serious, productive meeting with a plate of food in front of you.
One of the big areas of growth for us has actually been companies coming to us for strategic consultancy. Now what that means is we'll go into companies and run creative sessions with them, generally their CEO or members of their executive committee, and actually work with them to identify what's most interesting about their company, what we can find that we know that their stakeholders, whether the media or politicians, their clients, are going to be interested in, and actually making compelling messages. So actually using our creativity ourselves to work on content that will actually capture attention. Most of our work is in getting clients into the media. Now, how we do that is in a variety of ways, but it starts off with finding out what's interesting about them. So we can look at their numbers. Numbers make news, so look at the data that they have and see if there's any trends that we can see that says something about society or their business. They might have a new product or a new partnership which makes news, and sometimes it's just literally about what that business is doing, which is going to have significance to their industry or society. So once we get that news, we work their creative messages into that content, that news content that we create. Analyst relations are quite important for companies that want to make a significant impact upon an industry or a society, often with their innovations, or they're also looking for finance and investment. So analysts in essence are pretty high-level, serious, in-depth researchers, where they'll often provide reports for large organisations and governments, or for investors, recommendations of what's new, what's interesting, what trends are happening within industries, and where investors should put their money. So we help clients to communicate with the analyst community so that they are able to influence these very intense researchers, which people really listen to. For a lot of companies, there's a potential threat of poor regulation against them. And when I say poor regulation, regulation in itself isn't always a bad thing. It's just when sometimes it can be ill-conceived and have bad consequences for a particular industry or a particular company, which really the regulators, whether politicians, civil servants, or competition authorities, really didn't think of. So often it's for us to monitor what's happening in the regulatory environment, whether that's in Parliament or coming out of Europe, and really helping to alert clients to potential threats to the regulatory environment that they operate in, and then help them to offer responses and consultation responses, drafting them for them so that, again, it's compelling content and actually communicates what these clients and industries actually need, because a business environment is healthy for all of society. So it's just ensuring that the regulatory environment is at its optimum effectiveness for all stakeholders in society.